Welcome back to another one of our live webinars. Tonight is a special topic, man, especially for Medicare agents prepping for AEP. Our topic tonight is what agents need to know for AEP 2024. It is about to get wild and crazy, as that's what happens this time of year, which is why we have from Integrity Marketing Group and Neishloss and Fleming, the gentleman that needs no introductions, been on all of our stuff and crushes in it when it comes to Medicare. Welcome back, Mr. Bill Kiray. What is up, sir?
Hey, Cody. How's New York treating you? Fox Business, you all over it today?
It is good, man. It was good. I was in the car a little bit, shaking off some nerves, It was a little different than my studio, I will admit. That's for sure. It was
well,
cool,
that's
though.
probably because the people working at Fox Business aren't nearly as good behind the camera as Dylan and the rest of your team.
That's what it was. That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. I'm going to let them know. Yeah, we definitely have a solid crew. I appreciate the love. And right back at you with Nick and the whole team at Neishloss and Fleming, That's a big piece. I mean, we could do a whole other webinar on this topic, but like surrounding yourself with really talented people, like that is an art, it's a science, and it's a clear way to scale, as y'all have.
Yeah, well, that's like when we came out to Springfield to shoot some video with you there. Like, I wasn't getting on the plane without Nick because I don't want to say he's my security blanket, but he knows what we're trying to get, just like Dylan goes everywhere with you. When you have good people who help you deliver the message you're trying to get across to people, whether it's to agents, whether it's to vendors, whether it's consumers, like you got to roll with that. You got to roll with it.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. What is up, you guys? Also, a couple of things I wanted to mention really quick. If you can let us know where you're watching from tonight. I did throw in chat Neishloss and Fleming's Medicare YouTube channel. It is growing rapidly. They put out a ton of amazing content. Also, Bill, I must add, I absolutely love the new thumbnails. They look really sharp. And for you guys joining, you got to go check those things out. Okay. They look really good, man. Really good. Wow.
Thank you.
That is awesome, man. Chicago, Arkansas, Missouri, even. What is up, Martin, man? I'm in New York. I'm normally not too far from you, and halfway Missouri. That's not far from me at all. Orlando, Florida, Frisco, Texas, visiting a sister in Atlanta. John Stump is in Springfield, Mo. How about that, bro? North Carolina.
Michael Sino, fly, Eagles, fly.
Let's go. That's right. For those that don't know, Bill is in Pittsburgh, PA, and it is really a big, what is this, hockey, the Bruins? Is that the Bruins? Yeah.
It's the Penguins. It's the Penguins.
Ah! So close.
Yeah, it was all good.
I was like, I'm gonna go for it.
Well, the colors are the same, Cody. The colors are the same. They're the Bruins and the Penguins are both black and gold. So although I'm the biggest fan of whatever club my son is playing for at any given point in time. So
yeah. Lauren said at least I didn't say the Predators, I guess. So I don't know what she meant by that comment, but there must have been something there that I'm. Yeah, well, that's true. That is Nashville Predators. Yep, she knows her Nashville hockey, but I don't know my Pittsburgh hockey. What's up, Alyssa? Phyllis? What's up, James Donnelly? I know I'm in your state, bro, and I'm not letting you know. I actually leave I leave from the hotel at like 4 a.m, so I'm headed back pretty early. But Bill, I appreciate you being back, man. I know you're super busy. You're traveling. You're helping tens of thousands of Medicare agents across the country with Integrity and Neishloss and Fleming. So I appreciate you being on, and please take it away, my friend. Welcome back.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's see. I need screen 3. That's what we're going to share.
I'm going to go ahead and make you a host too.
Okay. Cody, you got my screen?
Yes. Good to go.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So just to get right to it, it is October 2nd. So for those of you who are engaged in the Medicare market, the season began yesterday. And realistically, the groundwork that you needed to be laying to have a great season should have started weeks ago. But what we're going to go through today are some keys to make sure that your AEP goes as well as possibly can. Now, for those of you that don't know me, and there may be folks that have never heard me speak or seen any of our YouTube videos before, either ones we've done with Cody or ones on our own channel, my name is Bill Kiray. I work at Neishloss Fleming in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, respect to the 412. But just a little bit about me. I'm a very dedicated father. I've got 3 children that I love very, very much and spend an unbelievable amount of time trying to do things with them and help them grow and develop. I am a aficionado of hockey. That is by far my favorite sport, both with the Pittsburgh Penguins as well as my son, who's a junior hockey player currently playing in Canada. I am an addict of movie quotes, and I will almost always try to find a movie quote that encapsulates the situation. And so, for example, maybe we just met, maybe we're talking about things, maybe we realized that, oh my gosh, we got so much in common. I might say, did we just become best friends? Yup, quoting Step Brothers. But, again, last and probably most importantly, I'm a 20-year veteran of working with Medicare plans for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans, and helping agents and agencies build their books of business, build teams, and basically be able to help consumers in a better way than they did before. So here's what we're going to hit. We've got a lot of quick hitting subjects today. We're going to start out with some AEP performance strategies. Then we're going to talk about member retention, which is every bit as important as new business. We're going to talk about some market dynamics that we've got going on for this year, very specifically with the AEP. And then lastly, we're going to finish up with technology and tools that can really help you, give you an edge to be able to grow at an absolutely exponential rate. So let's talk about some AEP performance strategies, things that every successful agent needs to be thinking about. So the key item that agents need to have in the forefront of their brain is that every single year the market is changing. I've been doing this, like I said, for 20 years. So I've got 18 AEPs under my belt, starting with 2005 and coming to now to 2023. And every year is different. So if you think something is going to last forever or be true forever, that line of thinking is done, because nothing is forever. There is no insurance company that is fantastic every year. There's no insurance company that is poor every year. Every year it is important, if you're going to engage in this market, that you've got to analyze what product changes are happening to understand how the market this year is different from the previous season. So here's the question you should say. First and foremost, what should you be doing, or what should you have done to prepare yourself for the annual enrollment period for Medicare? You've got to put in the work to understand who's hot and who's not. Now, when it comes to Medicare Advantage, when we're talking about the who's hot and who's not list, look at the plans that are available in the areas where you're selling for Medicare. What plans got better? What plans got worse? Are there plans that were neutral and just kind of stayed in the middle? And then start looking at key benefits. What are the benefits that consumers are asking about year in, year out that are really driving sales or making the difference between I'm staying with my current plan or I want to switch? What are those key benefits? And of the carriers available in your market, whose value on those particular benefits looks exceedingly strong? And you need to do that to put in that work to understand who's on your hot list and who is on your not list. From there, you go to prescription drug plans. Now, it's really hard to evaluate formulary. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar, formulary is the list of drugs that are covered by the prescription drug plan. And beyond that, what tier are they on? So a drug that is a tier 1 is incredibly cheaper than a drug that's a tier 3, 4, or 5. Now, it's hard to analyze formulary. You can try to pretend like you're going to open up the book and look through it and be like, oh, this formulary is better than that one. That's tough to do. Usually you don't figure that out until you start running sets of drugs that your consumers are taking on some sort of quoting platform. For example, like Medicare Center that is offered through Integrity Marketing Group. Beyond that, I think you can get a sense in terms of premium and copay amounts, what may give you a sense, but that's important. In terms of Medicare supplements, it's always important to know, are there carriers that are available in your market that weren't available last year? Additionally, which of the carriers that you've been selling or have been top selling plans in your market, which of those have taken rate actions, or, you know, are they taking a rate increase for January 1st, for April 1st? And understanding that the rate you're quoting now may be different than the rates available to your consumer in January or April. So it's important to understand that in building out your hot list and your not list. All right, so let's talk about your book of business. What should the goal be for every Medicare agent every single year when the AEP? Your goal should be, in terms of your book of business, don't lose a single client, not one, okay? If you have a book of business of 100 consumers, you want to keep all 100 and then layer on top, because every consumer you lose that, you know, goes direct to an insurance company, ends up switching with another agent, you've got to write 2 to continue to grow. So the best client that you can have is one you don't have to go out and pay to replace. So retention is the single most important thing when it comes to growing your business. Now, again, your goal should be zero loss. And when it comes to engaging with your consumers, you've got to look at your book with a bit of knowledge. You've got to understand which of the plans that you've written in any sort of significant volume, which of them do you think you're going to experience movement? And when we talk about that, it's like, do you have a plan that you've got 50 members in, 75 members in, that's on the not list? Not on the hot list, but it's on the not list. Then all of a sudden, you know, maybe consumers, when they figure out what's happening with these plan benefits for next year, they're probably going to want to shop it. They may not move it, but they're going to want to shop it. So you've got to understand which plans that you've got volume in, do you think are on the not list? How much membership do you have? And out of that, how many clients are absolutely going to need an appointment that you want to get to? And once you've done that, and hopefully it's something you've done already, knowing that it's October 2nd, you need to determine, in regards to your AEP, is this one where you're going to have to work really, really hard to retain your book of business? Is it one that's kind of a mix between acquisition and retention? Or is it one where, hey, my members are in a plan that I know they're going to be happy with again next year? This is an AEP where I can really focus on acquisition. And you need to kind of understand that before you move into your next phase, which is building your retention strategy. So again, like we said, the single best client you could possibly have is one you don't have to sell again or replace. Now, if you think you may have members on the move or members who are looking to shop and switch coverage, you got to stack these people early in the AEP. You do not want to leave these folks until mid to late November thinking, oh, I'll get to Susie towards the end of the AEP. Bob will wait for me to come to him. Guess what? If you have a consumer on a plan that's on the not list, they're going to move before you can get to them in November. So market research tells us 75% of the consumers who ultimately change their plans have decided on that new plan by the 3rd week of October. Now, that doesn't mean that they've already submitted their enrollment, but they've already decided they're going to move. So if you let your book of business wait, if you let those folks wait until November thinking they'll hang around for you, guess what? If they are motivated to move, they will have done it already by the time you get to them. Take care of your members first. Now, in terms of your retention model, it can go one of two ways, all right? You can either do individual appointments, belly to belly, at the kitchen table, or do virtual selling, one person to one agent. You can do that. Now, depending on how much volume you have in your book of business and how many consumers you think are gonna wanna move, may not work. You may have too many people. You wanna try to see all of your existing clients, get them all taken care of by the 21st of October. Because again, if the consumer is really motivated to switch, by the time you get to the 3rd, 4th week of October, they're probably already decided. So take care of your group first. Now, one way to do it would be member meetings. Now, if you have not already planned member meetings, it may be too late to do that. But maximizing your time through efficiency is critical. It is really important to do that because the only way to grow at scale is become more and more effective and efficient. That's super important. So that may mean that you want to engage with people virtually through events. You may want to shoot video to talk about changes in the plan to multiply yourself through technology. That is a critical piece if you're going to want to grow and scale your business at any sort of pace. So now that you've handled your retention strategy, it's time to build your acquisition strategy, going out and finding new members. Now, for those of you who've seen me do video with Cody before, you know one of my common themes that's kind of unconventional is this. The biggest mistake that most agents make is they buy way too many leads and they don't put anywhere near the effort in to convert them. Because think about it this way, at the end of the day, are you in the business of buying leads? Or are you in the business of selling? I think every single one of you would raise your hand wherever you're watching today, from your house, from your office, heck, maybe from your car, and you say, I'm in the business of selling because I don't get paid for leads, I get paid for sales. So here's the thing. What is very clear is that most agents will call a lead twice and walk away from it. And research shows us that maybe 10% of sales come from 2 calls or less. The other 90% of sales comes from calling consumers or outreaching through text or emailing them. But 7 outreaches or more, 80% of the sales comes from there. So buy less leads, work them harder. That's the route that will lead you to being successful. So what you need to determine is after you've done your retention or while you're in the midst of it, how much time, how many days do you have left to go out and buy or to work leads? Now, it doesn't just mean going out and buying leads, buying them from Cody, buying them from Lead Concepts, buying them from, any number of the hundreds of thousands of lead vendors that are out there. So it doesn't just mean purchases. It can be working in a retail opportunity like Walmart or Kroger's or Walgreens. It could be doing sales events. It could be building strategic partnerships with PCPs or with dentist office or with property casualty agents. But you've got to determine how much time you have so you don't overextend yourself and have leads you just can't work hard. So again, in terms of how many outreaches to each lead, anything less than 7 outreaches per lead is wasteful. You're just throwing it away. All right. If you want to be in the business of selling, 7 outreaches a lead is what's going to give you the absolute best chance of being successful without wasting your time and wasting your money. Beyond that, you want to make the insurance companies work for you. Just remember, you don't work for United Healthcare. You don't work for Aetna. You don't work for Humana. You don't work for Cigna or WellCare or Anthem or Blue Cross Blue Shield or whoever. You don't work for them. They work for you. And that may not be clear to you oftentimes when you first get in the business, but I'm telling you this right now. If you have companies that you are writing any sort of meaningful volume for, they should be a factor in helping you grow your business. How are they partnering with you? How are they contributing to your success? That's something that you need to work with the insurance companies to draw value from them in terms of additional leads to work, sales events that they need staff. How are they helping you grow your business? But the key here when we're talking about building a retention plan to keep your own membership and building an acquisition plan is it's about planning. You hear that word plan in there. You need to plan your work and work your plan. Because at the end of the day, our agents that are most successful have a 4-step process, okay? Number 1, analyze the market. Who's hot? Who's not? Assess what's happening. What portion of your book of business do you think is going to be satisfied and you can just let them go? What portion of your book of business is going to want to shop? Okay, so you got to assess that. You need to retain your members. Do not lose a member. The goal every year, again, is 0 loss. Hold your book, stack on top of it. And lastly, once you got retention underway and managed, it's time to go out and acquire as best as possible. Sweep your arms around people. And remember, if you're working leads, how many outreaches gives you the best chance for success? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 outreaches per lead is what you should be doing in order to be successful and maximize your investment of time and dollars. So let's talk about some market dynamics. What are some things that are going on this year during the AEP that are different? What is it that we're seeing? So key themes for AEP 24, we're gonna pop through some quick hitters in terms of what we think is different this year than maybe the last couple years. So first of all, we think that there is going to be increased switching expected. In a normal year, we usually see the switch rate at about 11%. That rate's going to be higher, and we're going to talk about why and what it means to you. We're also expecting massive disruption in the standalone prescription drug plan market. We'll talk about why that is. Additionally, we'll also talk about how you can take advantage and capitalize on it from a revenue perspective. Lastly, we're going to talk about flexible spending cards. These are important items. It's a new benefit that we've really seen grow the last couple of years. We're going to talk about why it's a factor. Also, totally not paid promotion, Vitamin Water Zero. I drink 4 of these a day. If you want to be a Medicare vet like me, drink vitamin water. It'll charge you up and keep you rolling all AEP long. And I swear to God, I don't have a promotional contract. I just love vitamin water. So I'm just pimping it out a little bit. So let's talk about increased switching. Why is it that we think the switch rate is going to be higher? More importantly, what does it matter? Why do we care that we think more people are going to switch coverage? The reason why we care is that you are better at helping consumers make switches than the insurance companies are. You are better at helping consumers make switches than the large national call centers. Why is that? Because you know the plans better. And if there's a high volume of switching, independent external distribution agents, okay, so again, just like you guys are, you'll get more of a share of the people that switch than your competitors. So increased switching, disruption is always better for the independent agent. So why is it that we think switching is going to be higher? Some market insights from a research firm that we know. First of all, 34% of Medicare eligibles, when polled at the end of June, again, only halfway through the year, 34% that's already said they're dissatisfied are going to be looking for options. Typically, the amount of people that shop is about 30% shop, 11% switch. Well, if we were already at 34% at the end of June, we think that number might be 45%, 50% maybe shopping. That will lead to huge movement that you can take advantage of. Secondly, when consumers were polled as to whether or not they regretted the plan they picked for 2023, that number was 2.5 times larger than it was the year before. Again, contributing to consumers are going to be shopping at record rates. More shoppers will absolutely mean more switchers. Now, of the people that were dissatisfied, 10% said they reported having a claim denied unexpectedly. Now, a lot of this keys back to new benefits and new delivery systems. That being said, if you got that many people that aren't happy with maybe their claims administration, what's that going to lead to? More people looking for a different insurance company, looking for new coverage, and available for you to convert. And lastly, 48%, almost half of the people coming back to those new benefits and new delivery methods said they had issues utilizing their coverage. Now, consumers who had issues utilizing their coverage, what does that mean? They're going to shop because they want a different option. All of these factors put together tell us this will be the most active AEP in the last 10 years. Beyond that, we've got a lot of disruption going on in the PDT market. So what does that mean? Why is that? So when we look across the board, now we have some carriers that are lower premium, some carriers that have really low premium. But in terms of looking at the market as a whole, we are seeing significantly higher premiums in this market. And the question would be, why does that matter? What is it that we think makes that important for all of our agents? Well, if you have a consumer who was paying $150 on a med sub and paying, let's say, I don't know, $32 on a prescription drug plan, you're talking about $182 in premium that they're paying. Well, we're seeing also fairly large rate increases in the med sub market. So if your med sub goes up 10%, and we're seeing PDP premiums average out to about 40 as opposed to 32, all of a sudden that consumer who was paying $182 before now is paying $165 plus. They're paying like almost $208, $210 a month. That's a big difference. Okay, so if we're talking about $20 to $25 more in premium for the same benefits, many of those consumers are going to ask the question to you, the agent, should I start looking at Medicare Advantage plans, which will give you the opportunity to grow your business. We're also seeing some formulary changes, not all of them positive. That's going to drive more disruption as well. All of this is going to lead to increased plan switching in the prescription drug plan market, and some of that switching is going to show movement towards Medicare Advantage plans. So again, we've got a lot of dynamics going on in the Medicare Advantage market that drive more shopping. Shopping will equal switching. Beyond that, we've got disruption in the PDP market that could also fuel more shopping and switching towards MA. So again, those two factors put together are going to put you in a position that you can gain a lot more business this year than maybe you've had the opportunity to over the last couple of years. Let's talk about flexible spending cards, another big theme for 2024. Here's a couple stats on flexible spending cards for those of you who think, it's kind of a minor benefit, not something that people are all that interested in. So first things first, 46%, almost half of consumers, when they were polled at the end of June, they said, I want to know about flexible spending cards during my appointment with my agent when thinking about plans for 2024. That's huge. Almost 1 out of every 2 consumers is aware of flexible spending cards, and they want to know what plans you can offer them, can give them one of those flexible spending cards. Now, beyond this, 7% of consumers say Flex Card is their number one decider, the benefit that is most significant in terms of determining where they enroll. Dental is at 12%, which is number one. That's crazy to think that Flex Cards almost are as significant as dental when it comes to making a decision about what plan the consumer enrolls in. Now, talking about the dual special needs plan market for just a second, 44% of the consumers who switched their D-SNP plan this year, almost half of them, they switched because they wanted more Flex Card allowance. So consumers are aware of Flex Cards. They're not just for D-SNP plans anymore. They want to know about them, and they are going to be a significant driver towards their enrollment for next year's Medicare plan. But beyond that, the thing you've got to be aware of is that ease of use, not just the amount, not just the total amount of the benefit, okay, but how easy is it to use that card? That is every bit as important as how much money's on it. Because if you have a flexible spending card that, let's say, offers $5,000 worth of benefit over the course of the year, or maybe it's $1,000, or maybe it's $2,500. If you can't conveniently use it, then what good is it? What good is it? It's just got to work. So when you're evaluating the plans that are in your market, okay, and you're trying to determine whose Flex Card is hot and whose Flex Card is not just about the money. I know that in the world that we live in, when people say it's not about the money, well, what's it about? It's all about the money. In this case, I would tell you that's not accurate, all right? Ease of use is so important, really going to drive member satisfaction, member acquisition, and member retention. So make sure whatever Medicare Advantage plan you may be honing in on for your market, the Flex card just has to work. Just has to work. All right, so let's close up talking about technology and tools. All of this information is great in terms of building a plan, working with consumers, and getting ready to go out and dominate the AEP, really grow your book. But what is your most valuable resource as an agent? Is it your sales skills? Maybe. Access to leads? Maybe. But I would tell you your most valuable resource is time. It's time. Because guess what? They're not making any more of it. You know, you've got a very specified time between October 1st and the December 7th in which to engage with people and maximize your AEP. You've got a very limited amount of time. So use technology, as I said, use technology to maximize your ability to write business. Now, if you are going to have the best AEP you've ever had, these right here are tools you've got to have, okay? If you're gonna get the absolute most, squeeze all the juice out of that orange, here are the things you've got to have. First and foremost, you need a client relationship manager, one place to organize all of the information about your book of business so you've got it organized, on point, at your fingertips, at all times. Next, you need a multi-carrier online enrollment tool. You got to have it. Because guess what? It is not effective and efficient to go to United Healthcare's site to enroll people, then go to Aetna's, then go to Humana's, then go to Cigna's, then go to Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's not effective and efficient because guess what? You got to learn 5 different tools, all of their different navigation. It's a pain in the butt. You don't want to do that. You need to be able to go to one site, one place, and enroll with all of the insurance companies that you've got at your disposal. And that way you get faster and more efficient over time going through one pathway to enroll all of your insurance companies. Now, in terms of your technology, do you have a lead management system that's integrated into your enrollment tool? If you don't, you're going from this platform to that platform to another platform, moving leads around, logging information different places. That's not effective and efficient. You should have a system where it's all together. From leads to CRM to enrollment, enrollment comes back to the CRM, populates the information. That's effective and efficient, which saves you time. Now, with all of that, you got to stay compliant because if you're not compliant, guess what? You get terminated by the insurance company, you can't write business. Very important that if you're following compliance guidelines, which you must, you need to have compliant call recording technology. And the only thing that's better than compliant call recording technology is that technology which is integrated into your CRM, your enrollment tool, your lead management system, all rolls together. And lastly, if we're talking about a wish list of the technology that you need, do you have an AI personal assistant who's going to talk to you about your member? Hey, last time you talked to the member, they were looking for a hospital indemnity plan. You didn't offer them one. Or maybe your AI personal assistant says, hey, you're getting ready to enroll Bob. Bob's taking a drug for rheumatoid arthritis. You don't have a rheumatologist as a specialist. You probably want to figure that out. So you need to be, again, prioritizing with all your decisions, effective and efficient to make sure that you maximize your time. So the question you got to pose to yourself is, if you can't be effective and efficient without those tools, are you getting them offered to you by your current field marketing office? And if you're not, if they are not providing this to you, and either you don't have them or you got to go out and buy them, that group is hurting your business. There are more than enough organizations in this space, in the Medicare space, who can give you exactly those types of tools and technology to maximize your AEP. If you're not getting them from the company you're putting your Medicare business with, you should go out and look for someone else. Now, in terms of additional content that our team provides to agents, in terms of daily videos about Medicare and sales, retention strategies, marketing, branding, all of those things, please check out our YouTube content. It's not just me. We have a whole host of folks at Neishloss and Fleming who day in, day out are dropping content designed for the Medicare agent to help you be more effective, more efficient, and grow your business in a really, really big way. All right, so want to hit up questions and answers. I'm going to pop into the chat, and let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger and see what we got here. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to start rolling through those. Katina Dandridge, any suggestions on a multi-carrier online enrollment tool? So what my company offers is called Medicare Center, because we're a part of Integrity Marketing Group. That tool offers all of those items, so that would be a place to start. But you know, again, there are a lot of FMOs who offer multi-carrier online enrollment tools. You probably want to get a demo, and you know, again, this would be me, and I'm not just saying come and do business with us. We got the coolest tool, but what you should do if you're shopping around for what's the best technology, call someone and say, what is your solution for CRM, lead management, and multi-carrier online enrollment tool? And then whatever they tell you, say, I want to see a demo. And they'll be able to do it for you. If they can't do it for you, you know, I would just move right on. Any company that's worth their salt is going to be able to give you a live demo of that type of tool so that you can see it before you buy it by contracting with them. So Eduardo De Leon, AI-powered insights and assistance. That's not really a question, but I can tell you with the Medicare Center platform, there is an element called Ask Integrity that leverages your policy data as well as your recorded phone calls to give these suggestions to you to be able to help you. It's like having, the analogy I like to use about Ask Integrity is it's sort of like Tony Stark. Tony Stark's not just building things on his own. He's got Jarvis. Jarvis is helping him look at his designs, offer him suggestions, help him pull it all together. So you can either be an insurance agent without that type of technology, or you can be an Avenger. And me personally, I never dreamed about being an insurance agent when I grew up. I dreamed about being an Avenger. And now you can be an Avenger who's helping people with Medicare. Let's see. Any suggestion for a company like Assurance? That's what I'm used to, but I need a new company. Alan Pooler, I'm not really sure what you're asking there. If you want to ask the question a different way, I'll try to answer it. Eduardo De Leon, the integrity system that does all of those things is called Medicare Center, all one word. So you can look it up. Lynn Coltrip, what do you use for recording calls? Again, we use Medicare Center. As part of the Medicare Center mobile app, agents can make outbound calls through the app, automatically records the call, saves it into your system, and then you can just drag and drop and say, here's the call from Gladys Smith. Drag it over to her profile, drop it in. Here's the call for, Bob Sedney. Pulling it over, dropping it in. So makes call recording really, really simple. Because at the end of the day, if you have a call recording solution, and there's hundreds of them out there, if you have a call recording solution that just throws everything into a folder, I want you to think about how this actually works, okay? Let's say 4 months from now, you get a call from Humana, okay? Or United or whatever. You get a call from an insurance company and they're like, hey, we want to see the call recording for Kathleen Emblem. If your call recording solution doesn't give you the ability to take that recording and move it over to a client record, do you know what you got to do? You got to go through and hope that you can find the recording for that consumer from the time you did the enrollment or engaged in that discussion. That sucks. that would be terrible. But the whole key is whatever call recording solution you use, it's got to be easy to go back in and grab that recording and get it to the compliance department if they ask you for it. So think about, again, whatever call recording solution you're using, can you easily find the call for the consumer, export it, get it to the insurance company? If you can't do those things, it's not a solution that you want. You need something better. Okay, so Lynn Coltrup, is there a link for Medicare Center? It's MedicareCenter.com. Super easy in that regard. So, and I'm not super technology focused, but even I know MedicareCenter.com is pretty cool. Question from Andrew: is Medicare Center the same as Sunfire, built on the Sunfire platform? Center uses an API feed from a company called Connecture. Connecture and Sunfire are the two major competitors in the space, but they use the API feed with all the plan information, formularies, provider networks, all that stuff, and utilize that platform. So it's built on top of basically Connecture's data. Question from Nancy: is it too late to begin Medicare sales for this year and take a hit? It is not. It's not too late. You can certainly get after it. I know that there are agents who will get contracted and certified mid to late October, early November. Now, are you going to put up the same type of sales numbers as the folks who are ready October 1st? No, you're not. But at the end of the day, the best time to start selling Medicare is, the answer is always today, because every day you wait, there are consumers who are enrolling that you're not taking advantage of. So never too late. You can always get engaged. The opportunity is still there. All right, question from Daniel: if your existing client chooses not to change policies, do you need a recorded call while verifying formulary? My thought is no, but confirmation will be great. So Daniel, here's what I'd tell you, okay? Engaging with your consumer where you're discussing Medicare plan options, once you're having that conversation with them, you don't know before you pick up the phone and start talking to them whether or not they're going to switch. So you probably need to be recording the call, because you might think, oh, they're going to stay put. And you start going through the process, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, well, what about this? And you're like, oh man, maybe we do want to switch coverage. So recording the call is always in your best interest, because you record it, it's there, you never have to worry about it. Okay, where you don't want to be is in a scenario where you start talking to a member and all of a sudden you didn't think they were going to move, now they want to move, and you don't have a call recording, and now you're exposed. So I would just tell you to record them all. Question from Michael: will the 48-hour scope slow down sales this AEP? I really don't think so, because there's two exceptions, Michael, to that 48-hour scope of appointment rule. Okay, the first exception is you got a brick and mortar office. Somebody just walks in unprompted and says, "Hey, I want to discuss plan options." Bang, you can enroll them. Second exception is you're at your office, and whether you're home or brick or mortar, someone calls you up and wants to talk about plan options and wants to enroll right there. You can enroll them, okay, because it's beneficiary initiated. Most agents are so busy, realistically, that if a consumer calls them and says, you just talk to them a little bit, you do some fact finding, and they're like, I really want to meet and get together. How many people aren't busy, or, have openings in their schedule this afternoon or tomorrow? Like, you're almost always booking 2 days out. So I don't think it's really going to slow people down a whole lot. I think the impact is going to be minimal. Alan Puller: does your company provide leads? We do. We will both teach you how to generate your own leads. We will give you options for purchasing them. We will build co-op plans with agents that write a lot of business to help them get leads. So I would recommend, Alan, calling our office, asking for someone on our sales team, and talking through the multitude of options for leads, as well as for co-op plans, and our sales team will be able to help you. Looking for any more questions, not seeing them right now. Last thing I would tell you, again, just to come back to the YouTube channel, if you like the content, if you like what it is that we talked about today, if you would love to grow your business in the Medicare space, but maybe you're not sure if Neishloss Fleming is the right fit for you, go watch some more of our YouTube content. Listen to the various people from our sales team talk about the business, give out tips and tricks, educate you on different areas of the industry. We love working with agents who want to learn the business and grow in the business. We work with people that are completely new. We work with people that write, 500 plans a year, and everybody in between. So watch some more of our YouTube content, contact our sales team, and we'll be happy to help you. All right, I just checked the chat one more time. Don't have any more questions. Hey, really appreciate the time today. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you that already do business with us, thank you for your business. Really enjoyed being with you tonight, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Yeah, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.